Have you ever driven home and realized you don't remember half the trip? Or opened your phone to check the time and somehow ended up scrolling Instagram for 15 minutes? That right there is your brain on autopilot. But what if I told you that this isn't just a bad habit, it's a built-in feature of your brain, and you can outsmart it? Today, we're diving into the strange world of the default mode network, the science behind why your brain loves autopilot, and the techniques you can use to break free and build real, intentional focus. Let's get into it. Part 1. Meet the default mode network, your brain's autopilot system. Deep inside your brain, there's a system that lights up when you're not focused on anything in particular. It's called the default mode network, or DMN for short. Scientists discovered it by accident. During brain scans, they noticed that whenever people were resting or daydreaming, basically not focused on a task, a specific set of brain regions became active. This network connects areas involved in memory, self-reflection, imagining the future, and thinking about other people. It's what kicks on when your mind wanders. When you're lost in thought, when you're replaying a conversation from last week, or fantasizing about something that hasn't happened yet. So, in a way, the DMN is what makes us, us. But here's the problem. It doesn't always know when to shut off. You could be trying to work, read, listen, meditate, and suddenly, you're in an entirely different mental universe. You didn't mean to zone out, but the DMN hijacked your attention and took the wheel. And when that becomes your default state, you end up living on autopilot. Part 2. The hidden cost of autopilot. Living in autopilot mode might seem harmless. In fact, it's useful sometimes. It helps you tie your shoes or brush your teeth without thinking. It frees up mental energy for bigger problems. But here's the catch. The DMN loves to chew on emotional baggage. When it activates without direction, it tends to drift into rumination, overthinking, and worry. It replays past mistakes, imagines worst-case scenarios, obsessively analyzes things you can't control. It's like having a noisy roommate who only talks when you're trying to focus, and only talks about weird hypotheticals, regrets, and insecurities. Worse, research has linked an overactive default mode network to anxiety, depression, and reduced cognitive performance. In other words, the more time you spend on autopilot, the more your mental clarity and emotional well-being suffer. So how do you fight back? Not with willpower alone, not with a productivity app. You need to retrain how your brain uses its idle time. Part 3. Mindfulness, the off switch for autopilot. Let's talk mindfulness. And no, I don't mean sitting in lotus position for an hour while chanting mantras. Mindfulness is simply the act of paying attention on purpose. It's noticing your thoughts, your surroundings, your body without judgment and choosing where your focus goes. It turns out, mindfulness does something incredible to the default mode network. Studies using fMRI scans show that when people meditate, even briefly, their DMN activity decreases. That overactive mental chatter, it quiets down. And instead, brain regions responsible for attention and awareness light up. Even short daily sessions, 5 to 10 minutes, can start rewiring your brain. Over time, mindfulness literally weakens the neural grip of the DMN and strengthens your focus circuits. It's like swapping out your autopilot software for a manual override system. And here's the best part. You don't need to be a monk or have a meditation cushion. You can practice mindfulness while walking, eating, doing dishes, or just breathing. The key is to catch yourself drifting and gently guide your attention back. Part 4. Visualization, the secret weapon for intentional focus. So mindfulness helps turn off the default mode network. But how do you turn something on in its place? How do you build intentional focus? This is where visualization comes in. Visualization is the mental rehearsal of specific actions, goals, or outcomes. It's a tool athletes, performers, and even CEOs use to prime their brain for peak performance. But it's not just about imagining success. It's about training your brain to recognize what matters, so it stops defaulting to what doesn't. Here's why it works. When you visualize something vividly, your brain activates many of the same regions it does when you actually perform the action. It's like a mental warm-up. By visualizing yourself staying focused, navigating distractions, or completing a task, you make those outcomes feel familiar. Your brain starts seeing them as normal rather than effortful. Even more importantly, visualization helps you set your intention before distraction even has a chance. Think of it as mental GPS. If you don't give your brain a clear destination, it'll just keep circling the default network loop. So next time you sit down to work or create or just be present, spend 60 seconds visualizing yourself doing exactly that. See it, feel it, anchor it, and then begin. Part 5. Building an intentional focus habit. Now, let's bring it all together. Escaping autopilot isn't about eliminating the default mode network. You can't. And honestly, you shouldn't. It's part of what makes you creative, empathetic, and human. But you can stop it from running your life. Here's a simple 3-step habit to start building intentional focus every day. 1. Notice the drift. The moment you realize you're on autopilot, pause. Don't shame yourself. Just say, there it is. 2. Redirect with breath. Take a slow, deep breath. Use it to pull your attention into your body, your senses, your now. And 3. Anchor with intention. Ask yourself, what do I choose to focus on right now? Then visualize it, even for 10 seconds. Repeat this enough times, and you'll start catching autopilot sooner. You'll start choosing your actions, not reacting out of habit. You'll begin to live on purpose. Your brain isn't broken. It's just following old software, programmed to wander, worry, and repeat. But you're the one holding the controls. By understanding how the default mode network works, using mindfulness to interrupt it, and visualization to replace it, you start becoming the driver again. So next time your brain wants to drift, catch it, guide it, outsmart it. Because the best version of your life isn't found on autopilot. It's built with intention. Thanks for watching.